check it out, Mike. See if we're live.
You got a counter up here. It ain't. Yeah. Well, that's on there. Let me read.
Not yet.
Not yet.
What if there was a podcast where one NFL legend talked about football? What about two NFL legends, huh? What about three? This is Wideout's World, where the gridiron comes alive. NFL legends Fred Barnett, Irving Fryar, and Michael Timpson. Three NFL legends breaking down the game from the ultimate insider perspective. Game recaps, upcoming previews, and exclusive analysis straight from the minds of those who've been in the trenches. Wideout's World. Let's do it.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
You see us yet, Mike? Are we live yet?
You got it. You got it.
Okay, yeah. I guess I'll see it now. I see it.
Now you cooking with some grease.
Why don't you say something? Why don't you say something?
I did. I said you got it.
Man, you know what? Fred, he didn't say nothing, did he? He's like, you got it. No, I thought you meant I did. Never mind. What's going on, everybody? We're back. It's we had a few technical difficulties, as you know. That's what happens sometimes, particularly when you don't have professional engineers running your show. It's an amateur, and that's me. But I'm Irving Fryar. That's Fred Barnett, and that's Michael Timpson, my two co-hosts, right here on Wideout's World, Wednesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. What are you doing, Fred?
Checking everybody out.
Shaking everybody up. Vincent Capriati's in the house already. We got 4 people who are watching right now. Sorry for the late start, y'all. We just tried to start the show. I think we scheduled it, and we tried to start the show a little bit before the scheduled time, and it kind of bumped us out and went cuckoo. And for those of you who are watching, if you know anybody else who's been watching our show on Facebook, well, understand this. Facebook has done some crazy stuff now, and they've kicked out podcasters, they've kicked out shows who are using a third party to go live on Facebook. So there are a lot of people who are not able to go live on Facebook right now who are using
they got rid of them bootleggers. They
like StreamYard. We're using Ecamm right now. So you won't be able to see us on my Facebook page anymore, and you won't be able to see us on Fred's Facebook page anymore until this whole situation gets resolved. Eddie
They're trying to
in the
get y'all
house.
to pay. Y'all ain't gonna start paying them. That's what they're saying.
Holly go lightly. Yeah, it's all about money. You know it's all about money, man. It's always all about money. It's always all about money. But we got folks who are logged in, who are tuned in, who have subscribed to Wideout's World on YouTube, who are watching right now, and we appreciate you being on with us right now. We're going to get right into the show. I missed you guys last week. I heard you had a great show. That's wonderful. I wish I could have came on last week because there was a lot to talk about last week, and I had a lot to say last week, but I couldn't come on and talk. I'm sure you guys covered it all and did a great job. Appreciate you. But here I is back this week, and we're going to walk through the narrative of our show. Anybody got something to say before we start the routine?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Howdy.
How do you guys?
Merry Christmas.
Now that you say that, how do you guys feel about the holidays when you got the holidays? Do you guys, do you joy in the holidays, or do you stress in the holidays like some do? Do you are you to the point where you can't wait till the holidays are over? How do you guys fare during the holidays, particularly these holidays? Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's.
Well, I have.
Go ahead, Fred.
Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Fred.
I have a young kid, so I got an 8-year-old. So just the joy that he brings us, and just looking forward to Christmas, and of course just being around family, and it's I don't stress at all, and even when it comes down to the gift buying, I let my wife do that. I don't do nothing. As a matter of fact, I get her. I said, "Look, what do you want for Christmas?" She said, "I want X, Y, Z." And I said, "Okay, Here's your money. Go get your X, Y, Z. So I just sit back and just let everybody just enjoy each other. And of course, I enjoy the family as well.
That makes it easy. That's for sure. What about you, Mike?
Yep. Oh,
I mean, the commercialization is the part that just gets me, and then
Right.
everybody just gets crazy. So I just try and stay away from malls. I try and stay away
oh
from
yeah.
people. I just try and get some downtime of the craziness and just understand the reason for the season, and at the same time, just make sure I stay out of the fray. So that's kind of
Right.
how I approach it.
Right. Yeah. My kids are grown.
That gives
I
me
kinda,
peace. The peace
yeah.
that we all talk about. That gives me the peace.
Mm-hmm.
So
That I kind of do the same thing Fred does. My kids are grown, so I'm not buying gifts and all that kind of stuff for them. And anything the wifey wants, what do you want? She gives me a list. If I don't find
Yeah.
it, I give her the money. Or she sends it to me in a list where I can just click on it and get it online. Where it's an active
There
link
you go.
where I can just click on it and order it right online. So she makes it easy for
I
me
don't lie.
because my wife is the kind of wife or person. I'm not like this, and that's why it kind of hurt my feelings the first time she did it. But I'm good with it now. If you buy something that she don't quite like, you think she's gonna like it, she gonna let you know what I'm supposed to do with this. Can I trade this in? Can you take this back? I was like, huh? I'm like,
No thanks.
okay, from now on, you tell me exactly what you want. I'm
Yeah.
watching a different show. This is not us right now. I'm watching something different.
what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Earl?
thought I was watching the current show, and I'm not.
Come back. You're fine.
Okay.
Everything's good. We're live. We
Okay.
got people on the chat line. We're
Live.
good.
That's
Shout out
fine.
to the people on the chat line. We're
I'm just
good.
making sure I'm good.
Okay.
Holly
All right.
Go Lightly says she hates the holidays. Richard Melton is in the house.
Oh.
He said, "What's up? Wow, go Bills." Eddie Casper is in the house.
Oh,
the reason
Bills.
for the season is God. My mother is in the house. She said, "My kids are grown too." Your kids are grown too. At least we'd like to think we are. Billy Bell is in the house. He said, "Hey fellas, Vincent Capriati's in the house. What's going on? What you think about teams playing Saturday, then playing again on Wednesday?"
That's crazy.
We'll talk about that later. All right, we'll talk about that later. It's a problem. It's too soon. You know, they're setting teams up for failure. So listen, our normal order of service. This is an order of service. Our normal order of show or service is.
You think you at the podium? You just giving
I'm
a
sorry.
sermon. Order
I got a
of
mic.
service.
I got a mic. Give preach your mic. It's what happens. I gotta do a funeral tomorrow, so I'm warming up.
Okay.
I'm revving the engine.
That ain't fun.
I'm getting the engine ready because I got to preach a message tomorrow for a funeral. So I'm getting ready. But anyway,
NFL news.
No,
NFL news. You ready?
You want to go news first?
Let's go news.
Wait a minute. I thought I'm hosting the show.
We kind of set it up. You know, you've been off a week, so we got to get you back on track. So we do the news first. We kind of set the tone. We set the table first, Irv, with the news.
When did y'all change? So when did you change that? When did you change that?
We didn't change that.
It was always the news.
No, it wasn't.
lead
Because
in.
we weren't
You gotta
always
lead
doing the
in.
news. It wasn't always the news because we weren't always doing NFL news for the week.
When we started
We
the
always
news,
started
we
out
always did
the
the news.
wide receiver of the week. We didn't start doing the
Tell us, man.
news of the week until like 3 weeks ago.
Hey, get with
And
the
when we
program.
started doing the news, we started doing the news first.
It's two
You know
against
what?
one. All right, news of the week.
Yeah, it is two against one. Oh, news of the week. What's your news of the week, Mike? Go. Since you so
Okay.
ready to talk about your
Sure.
news of the week, go.
You want my first one? My first one is
What
how
makes
do
your
you feel?
first one? You only
I
got
got
one.
three.
You got,
I got
three.
I got three. It's
I got three.
the holiday.
One for you,
Okay.
one for me, and one for Fred. Fred, we don't need to have a news of the week.
Michael Penix Jr. to replace Kirk Cousins in Atlanta as the QB. Okay, so my
Finally.
take on it is too soon. I mean, this is not the time. I shouldn't say too soon. This is not the time. Of course, Cousins has not been playing well. He's played well enough for them to remain the starter. Particularly, you got 3 games left against some dogs.
And you making
and
a
they're
whole lot of
making that
money.
change.
Shoot.
And they're making the change now, and they're 1 game back from Tampa in their division.
Mhm.
So for me, that was confusing. That was very confusing to me for them to change quarterbacks at this time.
Maybe something happened internally, in a meeting or between he and the coach or
Not
something.
with Cousins. Not with Cousins.
How
Nah,
you know?
Cousins. No, you look at his demeanor. You've never heard a peep out of Cousins.
No, but look, everybody got a button. All you got to do is push the right button. Everybody got a button.
Okay.
I would Cousin.
All right. What's number 2?
Number 2. How about Michael Vick going to Norfolk State to be the head coach? I like that. I like that. It gives him more NFL alumni such as ourselves. They're giving him opportunities to coach. So I think that's a good thing for football.
I think it's great as well. Yeah. How he's made his comeback. He's had his incident, and then he's been able to come back and be an analyst for the NFL, and then now he's getting his flowers and becoming a coach because he has a lot to offer. It's great. I think it's great.
Yeah. But I think Deion Sanders has kind of set the stage for a lot of guys to get involved with a lot of different schools and from a head coaching standpoint, and I think they've seen his success and seeing him being able to go out and recruit, high level players. Yeah. And you got guys. If you're signing guys with names, you're probably going to get some players that want to play for those guys. And Michael Vick's probably one of those guys that can go out and get.
It's a high bar, though.
But also know that it's a whole different plan now. It's a whole different scheme. It's a whole different way of doing things now in college football. You've got to have NIL money. If you don't have NIL money, you're not going to get quality players. You're not going to get high-level players. Why? Because they're going to the schools who are paying money.
Yeah.
It changed the game.
All right. Well, that's all I got. Well, I had KC. I had Mahomes. Should Mahomes play or not in the game because of his ankle? Play him or sit him?
Well, you know what he did last year? We thought he couldn't play with his ankle. He went out there and had a big run in that game to win the game. There's a big play that he made. And we thought he was, when I saw him get hurt last year with his ankle, I thought he was done. My God.
Done, yeah.
And that joker went on the sidelines and put some DMSO on that bad boy and come running back out on the field.
But here's my question. Do you you're fighting for home field advantage. That's why they want him to play. So do you take a banged up Holmes and get home field advantage, or do you get a healthy Holmes and go on the road? Which one is more important?
Well, it depends, Mike, because
that's tough.
They're
tough.
capable of, because last year they went on the road and won 3 games on the road. I know it's not the same team. I'm just saying it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying Patrick Mahomes. Last year they went on the road, Miami. They went down to Miami and beat Miami. They went to Buffalo and beat Buffalo. They went on the road and had 3 tough games, then went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. So it's tough to say.
Yeah.
It just depends. I think Patrick would have to be honest, and it would have to depend on how bad he really is hurt.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at Patrick Mahomes' track record and even the Chiefs' track record, they somehow find a way to win. And I would rather have him healthy and finding a way to win than to be banged up, and be at home.
Yeah. And Vincent Capriati says he has a Saturday game. Patrick Mahomes has a Saturday game and then a Wednesday game against Pittsburgh.
I'm telling you, I'd sit him. Yeah. They're in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, he probably, if they're already in the playoffs, they've gotten their playoff berth, and it's just a matter of whether they're trying to get that week off or not. Because you're in danger of losing him completely for the playoffs if he gets that thing. Because all of us know, you twist the ankle or whatever it is, you get injured. When you come back, you know it's going to get hit again. It gets hit again for whatever reason, just because it's injured. Yeah. And, it could happen, and he could be out. He could be out permanently for the rest of the season. So I think they should be careful. They should err on the side of caution.
Amen. All right. There you go. That's my news of the week.
Wait.
Go ahead, Fred. What's your news of the week,
Fred? Oh goodness. Mike and I talked about this last week, and I agree with Mike, and I thought for sure that Belichick would not be the head coach of North Carolina. And when they announced it, I was like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, my question to you guys, to you two, is We know who Belichick is. We know he's an old school coach, but we also know the new school players.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about new school college players. And I think he got a 5-year deal. I'm not sure exactly how much money it is, but to see him
He's
skinning and gritting
making 10 million a year. Making
10 million
10
a
million a
year.
year.
And I'm just kind of perplexed about how he's going to make that transition. Well, you never know. People definitely can change, but how's Belichick, who has nothing to prove, 6 Super Bowl rings, going to go and coach the new school of NIL college players? How is that going to happen? It's going to
That's a
be
great
interesting.
point. That's a great point because and I believe in his last few years in New England, that was a problem. That was a problem.
Yes.
He was not able to connect with his players because of the distance in terms of tradition and newness with the new attitudes coming into the league and his old traditional, rock solid way of doing things. They just never
Yes.
gel. And I always thought that Tom Brady was his conduit to the players when Tom Brady was there. He was the one that was able to make the connection between the younger players and Belichick. He was the cement between the two that kept things together because once Tom left and went on down to Tampa, things began to fall apart for Belichick. So it's going to be interesting. They got money, though. They got NIL. They got plenty of NIL. And think about it, though. If I'm a parent, particularly not necessarily older parent, but if I'm a parent and I know football, I wouldn't have a problem with my kid going down and playing for Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I wouldn't have a problem. I might encourage my kid to go down. I mean, Belichick, Dion, which would you encourage your kid? Where would you encourage your kid to go? With Dion or Belichick?
You can't go wrong either way.
Is that a question? Right. I don't think you go wrong either way.
It's a toss up.
It's a toss up.
So
now I got one more. I got one more piece of news, and I got to talk about this one, man. Man, my Devondre Campbell walks off the field for San Francisco for Mike's team, Irv. For Mike's team. He walks off the field, refuses to go in.
Wow.
First of all, I've never, ever, as long as I've played football, and I didn't play that long. I played just 1 year in high school, 4 years in college, and 8 years in the pros. But I've never seen a guy just say, I'm not going in. As a matter of fact, I'm going in the locker room. And from what I hear, Greenlaw was hurt, and at that point he was getting a lot of playing time, and Greenlaw got back in the game, and at that point I think Campbell saw it as like, okay, y'all just kind of screwing over me now. You're taking my plays and taking my time,
right?
And Greenlaw gets hurt again, and they like, hey, come back in. And he's like, no.
Y'all ain't killing me.
Nah. And here's the deal. It's so interesting because I think over the years we have heard a lot of different stories, and we've been I think we've probably all been a part of a situation where the team or the NFL to some degree takes kind of advantage of us as players. And it's a big question of how players navigate the interests of themselves opposed to the interests of the team. And this wasn't a situation where he was hurt and they wanted him to get him on film to let him go or something like that. But this situation where, you're not gonna play me? Now you want to put me back in? No, nah.
No, yeah.
So it's interesting that's I've never seen nothing like that.
That one's real easy for me. It's a bull crap move. I wouldn't want him on my team. Right. I've never seen it like you have, Fred. Because now you're a piranha in the locker room. I mean, if you even get back to the locker room.
Did you say piranha or pariah?
Yeah, pariah. Sorry,
piranha. You said piranha. You said piranha. You trying to eat everybody?
Yeah. So wouldn't want him on the team at all. So for me, that's pretty easy. But it was shocking. that he had an attitude, said, no, I'm not going to go in. I think the reason he was escorted off the field was because they wanted him off the sideline. I don't think he took it upon himself to just go. They wanted him off the sideline, which, because, you get one of the more crazy linemen will probably hit him just out of spite because he did that.
And I agree with you, Mike, because if I'm his teammate,
yeah, man.
And I know nothing's wrong with him, he's not injured, and we're in battle, we're out there trying to, win a game, and I'm giving my all, putting my behind on the line, and this cat's talking about, no, I'm not going in the game because he's trying to be vindictive or whatever, or he's trying to be, rebellious. Then, dude, I don't want him on the sideline either. I don't want you on my team. You don't need to be here, because obviously all you're thinking about is you. You're not thinking about the team. And
they said his locker's cleaned out already. So
they
did that whole thing.
But interestingly, they had to suspend him, so they couldn't pay him. So suspension from that point, he's not allowed to be paid during those games. But if they let him go, they have to pay him a certain amount. Which is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, they got their ways of doing stuff. Billy Bell said Mike Vick just became a coach. Is there something we missed? Did he sign a contract?
No. Billy. Well, he may have just inked it, but Billy's, I think, late to the ball. But we kind of covered that, Billy. We're happy for Mike Vick.
Right, but is he a coach? Did he sign the deal?
I don't know. I know he said he was going to sign.
Well, I thought he was just talking right now.
No. He said it was a done deal that he was going to sign. It was imminent. So we anticipate it being done any day now.
Okay. Okay.
We'll see.
So my news of the week is Randy Moss. I chose to talk about Randy Moss. I think everybody who's a football follower, anybody who watched the NFL, knows about his announcement when he was on a cane that he is a cancer survivor, that he's been in a battle with cancer. I got some stuff written down here. He underwent surgery, and then after the surgery, came out and announced that he was a cancer survivor. There was a mass found between his pancreas and his liver in his bile duct, whatever that is. I'm not sure what that is. That's just the verbiage, the doctor verbiage that was used. Surgery. He had surgery on Thanksgiving and put a stent in his liver. Then he underwent a 6-hour procedure about a week or so ago to remove the cancer. He was hospitalized for 6 days and then released last Friday. He had this, it's called the Whipple procedure, which involved removing the head of his pancreas, part of his small intestines, the gallbladder, and the bile duct. That's a lot. That's a lot, fellas. Going to have to undergo radiation and chemotherapy even after the surgery. December 6th, he stepped away from his role as the analyst, or one of the analysts on ESPN's Sunday NFL Countdown. He's 47 years old, second in the NFL in history in terms of catches. Got 150. I'm sorry, TDs. Got 156 TDs. That's second in history of the NFL. He's a Hall of Famer. Went into the Hall of Fame in 2018. 14 seasons in the NFL. Played with the Vikings, Raiders, Patriots, Titans, and the 49ers. And I was mentioning this earlier to Fred when we were in the green room, Mike, before you came on. And it's just we're not exempt. Nobody's exempt from trouble. Nobody's exempt from heartache. Nobody's exempt from pain. I know these athletes today make really, really good money. I mean, tens of millions of dollars these athletes make. But we are, as professional athletes and former professional athletes, we are just a microcosm of the world. We're not exempt from things like that. This is great of an athlete, as great of a receiver as Randy Moss was when he played. Here he is battling cancer. And yes, he did have surgery. And from what it sounds like, he's not out of the woods yet. We're praying for him. We want the best for him. We want him to recover. We want him to get back on ESPN. But just like normal folk, he's fighting for his life, something that I'm sure he never, ever imagined having to deal with. And it could happen to any one of us. One of us. So my word to all of us, listen, get it while you can, do it while you can, be the best that you can. treat people right, love on people, do the best you can as long as you can, because you never know when it's going to happen. You never know when things can change. What a difference a day makes.
I think the best advice that he shared with our people here is to make sure you get your regular checkups.
Yes.
Go to the doctor. A lot of people don't go to the doctor on a regular basis. I see my doctor every 6 months. Just routine checkups, blood work, and that type of thing. So just make sure you take care of yourself, not just for you, for your loved ones. So all of our listeners out there, make sure you take care of yourself and get your checkups.
And some of the problem with our country is there are people who can't afford to go to the doctor, who don't have insurance. So I have a sister who for years, she didn't have insurance and she could not go to she wouldn't go to the doctor. And then when she finally got a job to where she was able to have insurance, she was able to get some stuff taken care of. But had she not gotten that job and waited longer, there could have been some serious issues that could have, caused her problems for the rest of her life and minimize what she could do as a woman. So, get yourself checked out. And if you can't, see what you can do to try to get, to a doctor and make sure you get your regular checkups, blood work, so on and so forth, because the blood still works. Y'all missed that.
Amen. I got it.
The blood still works.
Never loses power.
Yes, sir.
No,
All right,
never loses power. So,
okay.
so since y'all told me, you giving me the narrative and the order of service and all, what's next on the agenda, fellas? What's next? What do we change it to next? What's next? What am I supposed to talk about next?
Surprise.
Surprise. Okay. Oh, you know what? Oh. Dang, I found that. We're going to start using that. I went and got that offline, and I'm going to put it in the show from now on. Surprise, surprise, surprise. When we do this portion of the show, we're going to hear Gomer Pyle say, surprise, surprise, surprise.
Okay. All right.
What's the surprise, Mike?
No, I can't go further. I got to let Fred go. Hey, we got to move the show along now. Don't get long-winded, all of us. Okay, you ready?
What do you mean long with it? We're talking. And people like this. This is what we're doing. I was just talking about a cancer survivor, man. You can't quick talk that. You can't quick talk that. You can't brush over that. What are you talking about? We're trying to honor and pray for Randy Moss, a fellow retired receiver, Hall of Famer. And you gonna rush me?
Y'all sound like two married couples, man. Come on, let's go.
Mike, how callous can you be? My God.
I guess you told me. All right. Here's Fred's surprise. Look at Fred.
My surprise. 49ers lost to the Rams 12-6. I thought at one point they were playing baseball. Goodness gracious. This was a baseball game? This was an ugly game, man. Purdy basically did nothing. He had 142 yards pass, interception. They had 63 yards rushing. Kittle had one catch for what I did. Debo had 3 catches actually for 16 yards. Their star wide receiver. Stafford really didn't do much. He had 160 yards. Puka Nacua, he was his kind of usual self. But I think that I guess the biggest surprise was that I feel that the 49ers were the better team, and the Rams just played, good enough to win the game. The only big, bright light was Kyren Williams with 108 yards rushing, and as I mentioned, or still I say didn't mention, Nakua had 97-yard pass. I'm sorry, 97 yards receiving. But it was just a ugly game, and it wasn't exciting at all. And I just thought, the 49ers would at least just kind of try to get back on track. And of course, I guess they still,
he dogging your team, Mike. He dogging your team, Mike.
Yeah, it's Mike's team. So I'm on the 49ers all day.
So
that's my surprise.
The dagger in your team, Mike.
I'm surprised you watched that game, that baseball. It's football season, not baseball season. And you watched that game. All right. So here's my surprise. My surprise is Tyreek Hill. Has anybody seen him?
Nope.
Has anyone seen Tyreek Hill? Okay.
That's a good one.
So now they go and play against Houston. He has 2 catches for 36 yards. He was targeted 7 times. Now, over the course of the year, he had 67 catches for 805 yards. But before the Houston game, here's his stats. Jets, 10 catches for 115. Okay. Green Bay, 6 for 83. New England, 5 for 48. Las Vegas, 7 for 61. And watching the game and some of the throws, he's not even contesting them to try and get them. And Tua gets picked off 3 times. Now, it's not all Tyreek's fault, but the fact he didn't seem aggressive going after the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's not making big plays. They got receivers going down, and you thinking he would be the go-to. He's not even a go-to. Their tight end, Jonnu Smith, has been their lead receiver for the last few games. So I just don't understand what has happened. And it seems when Tua went down, his production obviously was going to drop off because he didn't have Tua there.
Of course.
But you would think that he would be the man and kind of put the team on his back and would have the lion's share of the catches prior to Tua and when Tua came back. But it seems to be just quite the opposite. So, like, where's Waldo? Where's Hill? So that is my surprise. Where is Tyreek Hill?
Cheetahs can't have a lion's share.
They got to get a cheetah scare.
I like that one. I like that one, Fred.
Mike, to your point, I think there's just a little bit of quit in the cheetah in Tyreek Hill, and I say that because last year I went to the game, attended the game where Miami came to Philly and played the Eagles, and it was a big game. Both teams were playing well, and both teams wanted to win. It was a highly touted game. And there was a point earlier in that game where Miami was down maybe inside. It was inside the Philadelphia Eagles 20-yard line. And it was a crucial play. It was like 3rd down and 5 or 6. And Tyreek had gone out of the game and played before. And the receiver who was replacing him started running off the field to go to the sidelines for Tyreek to come in. And I saw Tyreek wave him back into the game. Boom. Just waved him back in and just stood there on the sideline with his head down. And I'm thinking to myself, why is he not going to the game? This is a crucial play. He needs to be in the game. There's nothing wrong with him. And I saw that quit in him at that point, and it showed up the rest of the game because they shut the receivers down. He didn't play hard at all during that game. So he's got a little bit of that in him, I believe. And when Tua went down and things just didn't start off the way he thought they might start off this year, he just kind of, I'm sure he just kind of gave up on the season.
Okay.
Do y'all think that this happens? And I feel that there's an energy, especially with wide receivers today, especially good wide receivers who are expected to put up good numbers when they fall behind way. And I think I kind of feel this energy with AJ Brown. He's fallen way behind in terms of numbers. So, him trying to catch up with everybody, he gets frustrated. When of course the ball's not coming to him, and when I hear you say Herb, he quit. Here's a guy that we were like, this guy's gonna get 2,000 yards at some point.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it just nosedives.
Right.
And
right.
And of course you just want to be positive as a player for the team, but at the same time too, I'm wondering if the guys are kind of looking over their shoulder at the stats and seeing guys like Jamar Chase. Everybody's, 1,300, 1,400 yards right now, and they had, 500, 600.
Or it could be, he's looking at the overall status of the team, the overall position of the team and what the record is, knowing that, okay, we're not going to do much this year. Let me preserve myself or take care of myself and not do too much and mess around and get hurt. And I'll get back in it next year or, maybe get traded or whatever. But that could be a portion of his thought process as well, in terms of whether it's individual or whether it's what the team is doing, whether he's not, might not just be individual numbers. So my surprise of the week is not a good surprise; it's a bad surprise. I was really surprised at this Mike Tomlin Steelers team and how they just did not show up. I was very, very disappointed in how they played this game against the Eagles this past Sunday. They didn't challenge the Eagles at all. Right. And statistically, it was the worst loss the Eagles had taken in Mike Tomlin's, not over the scoreboard, but statistically, the worst loss Tomlin has had in his whole tenure there as the head coach. And they had, I know they didn't have Pickens, but man, they had 2 turnovers. They got 2 turnovers. One on the Eagles' 45-yard line, one at the Eagles' 11-yard line in less than 60 seconds in the first quarter. And all they got out of it, and I know the Eagles defense is playing well, but man, all they got out of it was 3 points. Their first 5 possessions in this game, they were on the first one. They're on their own 31, 3 plays, 3 yards, punt. Second one, they were on their own 32, second possession, on their own 32, 3 plays, 2 yards, then punt. Third possession on the Philadelphia 45, 3 plays, minus 11 yards, and punt. Fourth possession on the Philadelphia 11-yard line, 4 plays, minus 8 yards, and got a field goal. Good God. Their own 30 on the fifth possession, 3 plays, minus 5 yards, and punt. Going into this game, the Steelers were the number 1 offense in time of possession in the NFL. And the Eagles and that defense was a really good defense. The Eagles in the fourth quarter took the ball, went on a 21 play drive, and took over 10 minutes off the clock and ended the game by downing the ball.
Yeah.
Downing the ball.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson was 11 for 22, 128 yards, and 1 TD. This was a pitiful performance. Yes, the Eagles did play well. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Eagles, but the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't put up a fight at all. I don't know what was going on with this team. It was highly disappointing for me to see a Mike Tomlin team coming to Philadelphia like that, needing to win, just like the Eagles needed to win, and they got punched in the mouth and didn't punch back.
Yeah.
That's right.
Surprise.
Well,
and I was there, and you know, I'm actually in the box, and I'm just watching, just waiting. I'm like, okay, when is this thing going to get close? Because I know at some point, you know, Mike Tomlin is going to push his, you know, magic button, and it was just nothing.
Never happened.
And I'm like, this thing is over. This thing is over. And thank God they got those 2 turnovers. They probably would have put 30, 40 points on them.
Well, they could have scored again. They just chose not to. The Eagles could have scored again at the end of the game in that 21 play drive. They just chose to kneel the ball because time was out. Time was out.
Yeah.
That's a good surprise because that was surprising everybody.
So goes.
All right. So what we got next? You guys are calling it. What we got next?
I ain't called it. Mike called it.
We're gonna do wide receiver of the week, or we got 15 minutes.
And
Vincent Capriati said this is not an ESPN show. There's no time limit. hey, Vince. Mike's got to go to bed.
We got to go to commercial.
No, Mike got to go to bed. Mike wants this thing to be over 8 o'clock because he got to go to bed.
Yeah, I bet
it's dinner time.
It's dinner time.
He got his
dinner before the
glass.
show.
He got his glass of Metamucil right there beside him.
Boy, y'all got jokes. Okay. All right. So wide receiver of the week. We ready? What you got? Wide receiver of the week.
Do you want me to go first? I'll go first. Wide receiver of the week. My wide receiver of the week. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Since I'm supposed to be running the show. My wide receiver of the week is CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb. He's my wide receiver. I'm gonna tell you what. Can I take? Stop! Why you looking like that?
Okay.
Looking at me like that.
I'm sorry.
They won. They won the game. Okay, Cowboys, and I like CeeDee. I don't like the Cowboys. Always rooting against the Cowboys. But CeeDee Lamb is a formidable, legitimate receiver. I told y'all that last year, and he's still one of the guys. The Cowboys are 6-8. They just won against the Panthers. They think they're back. They just won against the Panthers. 30.
It's Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina Panthers. I know it's Carolina. It's not, the Eagles struggled against Carolina. He had 9 receptions, 13 targets, 116 yards, 1 TD, 12.9 yard average. He accounted for, out of Cooper Rush's 214 yards. He had 116 of them. Long gains, 20 yards, 14-yard touchdown, which was the first touchdown for the Cowboys in this game. So he's my player of the week because remember a few weeks ago he had that shoulder injury and he kept on playing and was getting hit and I played with a shoulder injury like that when you got a stinger, man, it's rough. And the Cowboys, watch this now. The Cowboys are out of sorts. The Cowboys are horrible right now. The Cowboys they're not even in the contest anymore. They're not going to make it into the playoffs. But this cat keeps on playing.
Mathematically, they're still alive.
Mathematically they are, but they're not going to get in. But you've never heard him complain. You've never heard him. We see other players. You mentioned A.J. Brown, Fred. We've seen other players. Who was it? What you call him too? From San Francisco was complaining about not getting the ball. Debo, yeah, he was.
Then the ball hit him in the face.
They threw the ball and he dropped it. You can't be complaining and then go out there and drop the ball. What is that? But you hear these other receivers. But he's a tough team player who doesn't complain. This team is discombobulated. He's the only target. He gets hit. He gets bruised up, but he goes out and does his job and doesn't complain. And right now, even with Cooper Rush being his quarterback, who's less than an average quarterback, in my opinion, CeeDee Lamb is third in receiving in yards, 1,089 yards, and he's third in receptions right now in the NFL with 94 receptions. He only has 6 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns, but man, he's third. He's the third-ranked receiver right now in yards and receptions with this whole team jacked up. And with a below-average quarterback, and this cat continues to go out being the only target, the only threat that they throw the ball to. They throw it to him all the time. Everybody knows he's going to get it. He still makes plays. They double-team him. He still gets open, and he doesn't complain. He is my receiver of the week.
Okay.
All righty.
You said that with your chest, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Tell you I'm practicing for tomorrow.
That's legit. That's legit. We like CeeDee Lamb. I mean,
my guy this week, although it was a loss, he's right now fourth on the list in terms of statistics. I'm on St. Brown. This guy, I absolutely love this guy because he it's almost like he's just like a robot out there. He's not a big guy. He's 6 foot. He's like 202 pounds, but he just plays his butt off. And of course, they got beat by the Bills. He had 14 catches, 193 yards, a touchdown, as long as 66 yards. Right now, as I mentioned, he's set fourth in statistics with 95 catches, 1,056 yards, and 10 touchdowns. But I just like to see this guy.
He's behind CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, If CD is third, that means he's fourth. Yeah,
he's fourth. Yeah,
but yeah. Okay. So, so he's my wide receiver of the week. This guy, I just when Irv's quarterback dropped back, you just know half the time when the ball is probably going to Brown. And
wait a minute, my quarterback. My quarterback?
Yeah, Golf's your quarterback. Right?
That ain't my quarterback. He don't look right in his uniform. I don't like Golf. St.
Brown is he takes a licking and just keeps on taking. This guy, from what I've over the years, I've never seen him miss many games. And the guy takes a lot of hits, and he's over the middle. And he goes over the middle. He goes, he's down the sideline. He catch deep balls. He's a very tough kid. And, it's going to be interesting to keep watching his career. But my guy this week was Ahmad St. Brown. In a loss, though.
Now, you know what was surprising to me? Neither one of you guys picked Devontae Adams. I'm surprised. Just based on numbers itself.
No, I didn't. I try not to make my pick based on just numbers. Okay, I try not to make my pick just based on numbers.
I'm proud of you guys. You know what? We've come a long way. I'm proud of you that, you're looking at the totality of the game. I'm proud of you guys. We've come a long way. Okay.
So what's your doggone pick then? Or did you pick? That's what you picked.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not. My pick of the week is Mike Evans.
See, there you go. You got other reasons, not just numbers.
I'm sharing that. I'm
Okay.
proud of us.
Share.
I'm proud of us. There's a compliment there, Irv.
Yes, sir.
So
That's what we're supposed
9
to do.
catches, 159 yards, 2 TDs, longest is 57. Here's the thing that I like about Mike Evans. He shows up every game. I mean, there's not a game that he doesn't show up. You know, I usually see some receivers will quit or they don't feel like they're playing. And again, he's another one. You never hear him have a mumbling word. Now, his quarterback's on fire. There's no question. Baker Mayfield is on fire. But Mike Evans, big body. Now, I'm not crazy about. He pushes off a lot. He reminds me of Mike Irvin a little bit. He pushes off a little bit too much, but he gets the job done. And he's productive year in and year out. Here's his stats. Do you realize that he has 10 consecutive 1,000 yard seasons?
Yeah.
Now you know 1,000 is the old mark.
Right.
I mean, the way these guys are putting up numbers now, at some point they're going to be at 1,200s to mark or 1,300. But for right now, 10 consecutive 1,000 yard seasons. The record is our man Jerry Rice at 11. So he's on his way to tie that. Right now, he sits at 749 yards after missing 3 games.
Okay, he got to get going.
49.
He got to get going. He only got 3 games left.
3 games left. Guess who he's playing against? The Cowboys.
Okay.
The Saints and the Panthers.
Oh well, yeah. He ought to. Yeah, he don't wait if he don't get 1,000 yards. If he don't get 1,000 yards playing those, something wrong. Yeah.
So receiver of the week, Mike Evans. Shout out to him. 40 to 17 win over the Los Angeles Chargers, who has a decent defense.
Right.
But they're on fire right now. They're hot. They fire, as they say.
The Chargers were the number one. Until after they played Tampa last week, they were the number 1 scoring defense in the league going into that game last week. But then Tampa put it on them. Billy Bell's in the house. We see you, Eddie Casper. We see you, Richard Melton. Irving Barnett is in the house. Everybody who's watching right now is on our YouTube channel. Kenneth J. Casper, he said they didn't just get punched in the mouth, they got leveled. Can't punch back when you're lying on the ground. Vincent Capriati in the house. Holly, Go Lightly. Who else? I said Vincent, Billy Bell.
Hey, shout out to Richard. Shout out to Richard and his Bills. They put a whooping. They put a whooping on Detroit.
Yeah, go. Good. That's right. We got to give you a hand clap, Richard. Thank you. The Eagles, thank you, because you put us a little bit closer. Although the Lions have the tiebreaker for the NFC conference. They're one loss away from losing it, losing the number 1 spot. And the Vikings got to play them last season of the game. The Vikings and the Lions play. And
Detroit, they're missing a lot of people, man. A lot of people. They going down like flies.
And they just lost Montgomery too. Lost their linebacker, MCL. I mean, the running back. So now they don't have the 2 running backs, the 2-headed monster. Yep. Yeah. Now they only have 1. So it's not looking good for them. And right now with their defense, I mean, Aaron Glenn's been doing miracles with these guys coming off the street. I mean, I just have to hats off to them, but it's catching up to them. They can't stop anybody now. It's catching up to them. They had 13 starters on defense at one point on IR. 13 defensive starters from the defense, not offense, from the defense have been hurt and was on IR. 13.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think they're vulnerable right now. So we got
maybe in trouble.
The game of the week. Game of the week is Saturday at 4:30. Steelers at the Ravens. Fred, who you got? Who you got?
Goodness gracious! You know what? I have to feel that the Steelers are going to go into this game bleeding from this past weekend, and Baltimore at 9-4. The Steelers at this point are 10-3. Baltimore 9-4 is going to tie this thing up.
Steelers are 10-4.
Right.
Steelers are 10-4.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just got that last loss. Remember that one.
Yeah. So I think at this point, Baltimore. I think Baltimore's going to win it. Baltimore's going to win it. I got to give it to Baltimore.
Mike?
I agree.
And
with
let me say, the Steelers also won that. Steelers also won their last game, 18-16.
The last time they played the Ravens, week 11. Yeah, week 11.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it went down to a 2-point conversion with less than a minute on the clock, and the Ravens did not didn't execute the 2-point conversion.
Mm-hmm. I like the picture that Fred painted with Pittsburgh coming in still bleeding from that fight they were in. So I'm going to take Baltimore at home, and I think they'll bounce back against Pittsburgh. So I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens as well. I think the Ravens are going to watch the film. Obviously, we all know that the NFL is a copycat league, and they're going to watch the film and see what the Eagles did last week, particularly defensively, and they're going to incorporate some of that in their game. And right now, Lamar Jackson, although they played the Giants last week, they killed him. 5 TDs. He had 154.6 quarterback rating against the Giants last week.
Pulling up his pants while he's running.
3 TDs. The Ravens are averaging 29.9 points a game. That's crazy. That's third in the league.
Yeah.
And plus, they're at the Ravens. So I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah.
Going with the Ravens.
They still right now total offense 424, still leading total offense.
Yeah,
so
they lead the league in a lot of categories. Yeah,
because you know when it's going to really show up, the colder it gets, and they just need to run that rock, and they're going to start bringing King Henry downhill.
Right.
Things going to change a little bit, I think.
Well, that's what's going to happen with Detroit when they have to go out, if they don't get the number 1 seed, and if people don't have to go there, teams don't have to go there to advance, and they have to come out in the cold, whether it's Philadelphia, whether it's the Vikings. Well, the Vikings are indoors. Whether it's Philly, if they have to come to Philly, the advantage is Philly for sure. Not just because of the injuries, but because of that weather. And golf doesn't play well. He has a history of not playing well in the cold. Yeah. Thursday night football, Broncos at the Chargers. Broncos are 9-5. Chargers are 8-6. You want to go over our records before we make these picks, Mike?
No, I'll go after. Go ahead.
Okay, let's make these picks real quick. I'm going to mention them. You guys make your picks. So we got Thursday night football, Broncos 9-5 at the Chargers 8-6. Then we got Sunday night football, Tampa Bay at the Cowboys. Tampa Bay is 8-6. Cowboys are 6-8. Then we have Monday night football. It's the Saints, who are 5-9, versus the Packers at the Packers. Yeah. Green Bay Packers are 10-4. Who you got, Fred?
I'm going to go with Denver. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay over Dallas. And I have to go with Green Bay over New Orleans. Got that, Mike? Got those winners, Mike?
Yes, sir. I got it. Okay. All right. Denver at the Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Go with the Chargers.
You about to lose that, boy. You about to lose that.
You know what? Y'all scared to step out. Y'all scared to step out.
No, I ain't scared to step out. You about to lose that.
Step out.
I see you, Eddie, talking about the Birds and the Commanders. I'll get to them in a second. I ain't scared. Okay. Tampa.
Somebody was scared to step out, and he laughs.
Hey, I strike up the band. I'm gonna dance all the way down in last place.
Yeah, last place. Y'all scared to step out.
I'm gonna go with Tampa. I'm sticking with Tampa. And New Orleans at Green Bay. I'm gonna go with the Green Bay Packers.
Broncos at the Chargers. Listen, Justin Herbert's in a funk. He is in a funk. Bo Nix is on fire right now. I'm going with the Broncos. Tampa Bay, Cowboys, the Bucks. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They just busted 40 points against the Chargers. Chargers with a number 1 scoring defense. Man, give me Tampa Bay. Cowboys suck. The Saints at the Packers. Y'all, the Packers. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They haven't clinched the playoff spot yet either, so they got to play.
Yeah.
They got to play. Yeah.
Jordan Love has been balling. He's been balling.
All right. So our records now.
Here we go.
For those of you that are interested, since you're just bragging, you're bragging.
Should I get a drum roll?
What he said, Vincent said, I'm hitting on one. I'm going to get 1 pick. All right, you ready? Bringing up the rear. is yours truly, MT.
Uh-oh.
And the MT stands for
stepping out on a
MT.
limb.
I'm on MT right now. I'm 30 and 18. Fred, you and Irving are tied at 32 and 16.
I can't get him off me. And we made the same picks today, didn't we?
Yeah.
Our picks today are the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Change your pick, there. Change your pick.
No, I'm not changing my pick, man. I'm trying to win this thing. I'm trying to ride this thing in, bro.
There you go. There you go.
I'm trying to ride this thing in.
Cool.
But you're not that far behind, Mike. You're only what, 2 games behind? Is it 2
games? That's what I'm saying. 2 games. That's just a hiccup. It happens.
We only got 3 weeks left.
That's okay. I got a shot. The fat lady ain't seen yet. I got a shot.
Are we going to go into the playoffs? We're going to go ahead and keep making picks into the playoffs all the way to the Super Bowl?
Why not? That's a night game.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
All right. So you got a chance. Yeah, you got a chance. You got plenty of games. All the way till February. You got a whole month and a couple more weeks.
Yes, sir.
All right. Does anybody? All right. It's 8:01, but give anybody who has an opportunity or who wants to ask us a question real quick. Anybody got a question?
So they wanted to ask me. He wanted to ask me about
who's that?
The Commanders and Philly. Would I pick the Commanders?
Oh,
now,
Eddie Casper said, who Mr.
So
T? He called you Mr. T. I'm gonna start putting Mr. T up on you, Mr. T.
So here's my thing. They're going to the Commanders, but I will say they have been playing well lately. And the Commanders showed me something last time. They being Philly, they're playing well lately, and I really think that they're on a roll right now. But I remember what I said. Manage expectations at the beginning of the year. And I will say this. They have not depended on Jalen Hurts to win a game. I do think that's going to come up at some point where he's going to have to win with his arm, and that's where you're going to see some cracks in the mold. Right now, they're on easy street, and we just talked about it. Pittsburgh didn't put any pressure on them. That's going to come, but it ain't going to come this weekend. I'll go with Philly. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Hey, I saw some stuff from Jalen this week, bro. That was.
I'm wondering what Mike saw. Or did he see?
I don't know what you saw, Mike, but I saw confidence. I saw some throws. I saw him make some throws that I thought he was kind of hesitant to make. I mean, the first play, the first offensive play for the Eagles, the first play of the game, Calcaterra runs an out and up down the seam, and Jalen throws the ball to him over the under coverage and in between the behind coverage. Yeah. And it was a dart. It was on a line. I rarely see him make that kind of throw with that kind of confidence. Man, he let that ball go. It was a perfect throw, and it was the first throw of the day. Second play of the game, he makes a throw to A.J. Brown. Third play of the game, he makes a throw on a crossing route to Devontae Smith. Then the fourth play of the game, he hands the ball off to Saquon Barkley. So now all of the ball carriers have touched the ball 4 plays into the game.
Push all your chips to the middle of the table on Jalen Hurts then. Push all your chips to the table, right, on Jalen Hurts.
You got a wrinkle in your forehead, man. Why your forehead wrinkling?
Put your chips all in the middle of the table.
I see the Eagles winning this game simply because I think, first of all, I think they're the best team. And second of all, I think that they know and understand that they need to win out and could possibly have home field advantage. And you just can't go into a game, being the best team and not taking care of your business. Now, if it's a hiccup, it's a hiccup. But I feel like they're the best team, and if they go out and play like they can, if both teams go out and play good football, the Eagles should win.
Well,
listen. I told you, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Jalen had to pass the ball in this past game against Pittsburgh to win the game, Mike, because Pittsburgh dropped the safety down in the box and took away the run. Saquon Barkley, they ran the ball, but he was not. That was the least amount of yards he gained all season long. They took the run away, and Jalen had to pass the ball.
It was not on the line with him having to make a throw for them to win. It wasn't that.
If he didn't throw, they weren't going to win.
So we're talking about one play now.
Win.
We're
You
talking
about one play?
We're talking about several plays.
He's talking about a 2-point. He's talking about a 2-minute drive. He's talking about a 2-minute drive at the end of the game, and Jalen leads the team down the field.
Oh, Mike, let me say this. If I can give you a basketball analogy.
Go right
if
ahead.
I can drive past you and make a layup every time, I don't have to shoot a 3.
Go ahead.
Eddie Casper said, "Damn it, Mike! There goes our winning streak."
Well, if it's that easy, that's a problem.
There goes our winning streak. And Vincent Capriati said, "Don't be surprised if Washington wins." Vinny, Washington ain't winning this game, man. What's wrong with you? What are you looking at? You just mad because your Pittsburgh Steelers got smacked last week. Vinny's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
We'll see. All right. It's written down. We got it.
All right. Let me holler at everybody. Richard Melton. Yeah. Congratulations again to you and your Buffalo Bills. They might be there in the end. Erling Barnett, Kenneth Casper, Billy Bell, Eddie Casper, Vinny Capriati, Holly Golightly. Shout out to you, sweetheart. My mother is in the house. Mama, shout out to you. I don't see where you are, but I know you were here earlier. And I believe that's it for everyone. Richard Melton, Eddie Casper, Vincent Capriati, Holly Golightly. Yeah, y'all got a lot of comments tonight.
Chris.
Is there a Chris in here? Someone named Chris?
Oh.
All right, y'all. That's it. We'll be back next week.
Merry Christmas. Are we working on Christmas and Christmas Wednesday? Are we working? Are we working?
No.
Wow.
No, we ain't working.
Are we working?
No. And are we working? We working on Christmas?
We'll find out.
Are we working on Christmas?
I guess we'll have a powwow. We'll have a business meeting.
No, we ain't working on Christmas.
We need to let the folk know what we're doing right now. So
what's your vote?
I don't think.
Well, I think we should do it.
We should work.
I think we should do it the day after Christmas.
Okay.
Instead of Wednesday, the next 2 Thursdays, we go ahead and have the show.
I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Because New Year's Day is on Wednesday as well. Right?
Well, I'm leaving for Africa.
Oh Lord Jesus.
28.
That's not the day. That's not the day after Christmas.
Why? I say the day of 28. So that's you talked about next week after Christmas the 1st. I will be in the motherland.
Lord Jesus. Well, me and Mike can do the show. We can do the show without you. Y'all did the show without me.
I hope we can.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see you next Wednesday.
We're not doing the show on Christmas.
Okay, I guess we won't see you next Wednesday. I guess we'll see you Thursday.
Yeah, Christmas is on Wednesday. We'll do the show on Thursday.
Okay.
We'll do it Thursday.
So we'll be on next Thursday, everybody. Check us out next Thursday and the following Thursday, the day after Christmas and the day after New Year's. So until then, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll see you next week. This is Wow. I'm Irving Fryar. That's Fred Barnett right there. There's Michael Timpson right over there. My 2 co-hosts, former NFL wide receivers. Thanks for being with us today. We will see you next week, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. That's Wow right there. I got to hit the button.
This has been Wideout's World. Touchdown. Not 1, not 2, but 3 NFL legends. Fred Barnett, Irving Fryar, and Michael Timpson. Are you freaking kidding me? If it's football talk you're looking for, I think we've got you covered. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on YouTube at Wideout's World. See you next time.
Let's go! Let's go! 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 Go!